So we are just finishing up our 8.3 notes on stock market data. We are going to be finding the percent increase or decrease from the previous day, April 21st, to the current day, April 22nd. Make sense? Okay. And so this is the formula for the percent of increase or decrease. So it's the change here. Do you need something, buddy? Need something? Are you talking?
No, I was trying to see that.
So we're going to be using the value in this column, depending on which stock we're talking about. It's going to be divided by the close of the previous day, which we found for all these stocks, and I'll show you where it is in a second, times 100. Okay? So, if we look at Westpac, the stock for Westpac, the change was 245. Make sense? So that goes on in our numerator. We're going to divide that by the close of the previous day. So in example 5, we found the price for April 22nd, that closing price. So in this case, it's $111.17. Is everybody following? Okay. So for here now, it's the change divided by the closing price for the previous day times 100, and that percent would be 2.2%. So that is the percent change from the previous day to today. Does that make sense? So we've already done part of the work for these problems. So if you were to have to find the percent of increase or decrease and you didn't know the previous day's closing price, you would have to find that first. And remember, the way you would do that is just the last on the current day minus the change on the current day, and that would give it to you. Make sense? Okay. So for McDonald's, we're here. We're using a negative 55-cent change, so that is in our numerator. We're dividing by McDonald's previous day closing price, which we found is $58.90. Okay? So it's the change divided by $58.90 from the previous screen times 100, so we're following our formula, and that equals our percent change. 3%, yep. And remember, it's a percent of increase or percent of decrease, so you put the percent symbol. If it's a positive percent, then it's a percent increase. If it's a negative percent, it's a percent decrease. Make sense? Okay. We're moving on. Berkshire Hathaway, that's the super expensive one. The change is 1,000, so that 1,000, negative 1,000 in fact, is our numerator. And it's divided by the April 21st closing price, which we found on our other previous example. So 128,200. So that is our denominator. We divide those, multiply by 100, and our percent is negative 0.8%. So B and C are both percent decreases. A You gotta multiply by 100 first. Yeah, and then we're rounding up. You could have done 0.78%. The rounding here is a bit random, and I just copied the works from the teacher that made this, but so I would have accepted wholeheartedly 0.78% as well, negative 0.78%. And the last example in our notes, Freeport-McMoran is right here. The change is 351, right? That is our numerator. Divided by, go back to our, the page where we found the closing price on April 21st for Freeport-McMoran, $115.14. That is our denominator, times 100, so let's change divided by previous day. Change divided by previous day's close, times 100, and you should get 3%. That is rounded to, but there's 3 or 4 zeros there, so. 3.51 divided by 115.14. Divide by 115.14 equals times 100. No, you shouldn't get 2. Yeah, it's actually 3.04, but they rounded it to 3%. Try it again, Kirsten. Clear it out. 3.51. Oh, you got it? Divided by 115.
Oh, that's because you're supposed to, after you divide, you're supposed to put the equal button.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes.
That's what I did.
Yeah, don't forget the equal button. Then multiply by 100. Okay. You could do that if you use parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is all the notes. You should stop once you're finished with this page. Scan and go ahead and submit the assignment. Remember, the Do It Together notes don't always get graded, but that will be something I'll randomly pick later on in the quarter. So if you don't go ahead and turn them in now, you would not get credit for them. Sorry? This is an assignment. The notes are an assignment, right? The notes assignment. I don't actually, so.